Hello and happy time zone. Ugh, good start, Jack. Hello and happy time zone to you, my dear viewer, and welcome to the Swift Sunrise. My name is Jack, and we have a brand new player with us today. Steve, welcome.
Hey.
Tell us who you are and anything you'd like to shill, and then let's talk about your character in the Time to Harvest campaign.
My name is Steve. You can find me on the socials at Tall Halfling, sometimes Tall Halfling RPG. I apologize. I am working my way through a cold, so I will sound less awful as we move forward. So I'm an actor storyteller. I do freelance video work, and you'll find me doing one shots and charity games all over Twitch and YouTube, and sometimes doing audio and video editing and such behind the scenes.
He may even be doing some work for us, Internet, so stay tuned, because I'm excited to potentially collaborate. That should be fun. So let's talk about your character. So we've had some conversations off camera, and we sort of know what it is that we're going to be aiming for, but we're going to keep it a little bit of a mystery for the audience today. So we're going to be recording this time tomorrow with the proper players, but the players don't know who you are, and I think that we're going to post this relatively quickly before Thursday when the upload happens, so that people can sort of have a little bit of a mystery as to who you might be. So with that in mind, what do you think you'd like to share about this character? Like who he is, whatever you feel like sharing, before we roll some stats for this person. Almost gave away there, Jen.
Sure. He's not a student like the rest of the party. He's not enrolled anywhere. And he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. Let's put it that way. So
we will be giving away, I think, the archetype and things like that. So we will let people kind of jump to their own conclusions here. But we're going to live figure out the stats of this fella, because we're playing Call of Cthulhu, and thankfully the stats don't matter as much as the skill points. So we will figure this out together. Steve, would you like to share your screen on Elibee Rodeo, please?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Just a second here.
So we're going to start with... Now we already know what the archetype is going to be. So what is the archetype, please?
So the archetype is Grease Monkey. I told you he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. It's quite literal.
Exactly right. So if we look at the Grease Monkey talent in post, we will have a look there, but let's have a look at what it says. A Grease Monkey. The Grease Monkey is practically minded, able to make and repair all manner of things, be they useful inventions, machines, engines, or other devices. Grease monkeys may be found lurking under the hood of a car or playing with the telephone exchange wires. Such types have a can-do attitude, able to make the most of what they have at hand, using their skills and experience to wow those around them. Depending on the pulp level of your game, the Grease Monkey may be able to jury-rig all manner of gizmos, useful or otherwise. See Weird Science on page 86, and indeed, Steve has chosen as one of his talents, the Weird Science talent. So we're going to have some fun with that. So because you are relatively new to Pulp Cthulhu, Steve, I'm going to let you sort of give your interpretation of what you think weird science devices mean, in terms of, like, what do you imagine? What do you picture? Because it's a big staple of Pulp Cthulhu, but we haven't really seen it on my channel yet. So give us an idea of what, like, you imagine when you think weird science.
So mechanically speaking, it lets you use skills that you don't have. Flavor-wise, we take steampunk from the 19th century and bring it forward 50 years, and so could be something very, 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 very simple. Could be something that's powered by eldritch forces.
Yep. Eldritch bullets, for example, are a thing. You can see that up on post there, Internet. Yeah, you can make eldritch bullets. You can also make jetpack if you really wanted to. So the sky.
For any supernatural really fans out there, one of the examples in the book is in fact the bullet with the elder sign on it.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I meant. Exactly. Elder Sign bullets, 100%. So we've got 2d6 up. So why don't we jump ahead to a 2d6 roll? Why don't we roll for size to start with? So if we roll those 2d6, we're adding 6 to it. So that will be 13 times 5. Are you better at math than me, or do I need to drag out a calculator?
65, I believe.
65. Let's find out. Drum roll. Nails it. 65 it is indeed. Okay, so why don't we just go through all the 2d6 rolls just to kind of get it out of the way, and then we'll do the 3d6 after that. We're going a little bit out of order here. So we're going to do intelligence next. 2d6 plus 6 times 5.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's 12 times 5, which is 60. Kind of makes sense given what we know about this character. I mean, you know, he's probably more street smart than book smart. He just knows things. He just knows how to do things. Doesn't necessarily mean he's got his nose in a book all the time. Okay, and education. Whoop, same thing. Okay, so 60 again. Unless, actually, with Grease Monkey, I'm not sure if you have it in front of you, but you have a core archetype, I remember. Sorry. Did we roll? We rolled your intelligence, didn't we? So let's
Yes,
rewind.
we did.
We will keep that as your education, the 60. Roll 1d6, please, plus a certain number, just a single d6 for your core characteristic.
Ooh, okay.
What'd you get?
I got a 6.
Okay, so core characteristic 6 plus 13, which is 19, right? Times hang on. Let me see if I got this right. Yep. 6 plus 13 is 19 times 5
is 95.
Is 95. So you are the big brain. And what I love about that is that your education is quite low. So it actually sticks to what we said, but I was in the wrong order, right? So you know what to do, but you couldn't tell them what it is, right? You're just like, yeah. Like, it's the flim flam. You put the flim flam in the jooby jooby, right? And no one else knows what you mean, but you do. And you're like, come on, keep up.
Why do you need all these drawings and things? Just see it in your head.
That's right. So I'm excited for that. That should be fun because we've got a very book smart individual who will probably pull their hair out and you go like, please just use the proper terms. Just like I never did before. So I love that. That's great. Okay, so we've done the 2d6 rolls. We've done education, we've done intelligence, we've done size. So let's do 3d6 for the rest. So we're gonna roll 3d6 times 5 for strength. Okay.
60.
So yep, 60. And then we roll again for con, which will affect your hit points.
Ooh. Okay, that's 6. That's 30.
Ooh, okay. A 30. Okay. So that will affect your hit points. So yeah, maybe a bit weedy is this guy. Okay. We're going for dexterity now.
Okay. 11, so 55.
55. Okay. Appearance.
Is that actually cocked?
I mean, it is, but we'll stick with the 9. That's fine. I mean, you re-roll if you want to. I'll let you make your own decisions.
I've never seen an electronic dice roller that does cocked.
No, you're good. Go for it.
Okay, 13. So 65.
Convenient, Steve. You just wanted to be hot. Okay. Okay. Yeah. What's 13 times 5? That's quite high. That's 65, right? Or am I going nuts? Yep.
Possibly both. I don't know.
I mean, could be both. Yeah, it's not mutually exclusive. So we're going with power. Yep. Oh, good. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I buy that for this character. 14 times 5.
70? Yes.
Yes, sir. So that is your stuff. The only thing left to do is figure out your age. We talked about the age limit being 18 to 23, so anywhere in that age bracket. And we're also going to roll for luck. So if you're doing the character sheet on Doll's House, the hit points should be automatically filled out for you. Okay. Luck is 2d6.
That's not what I want.
That's 3d.
Yep. It's a whopping 6 times.
6, okay. Plus 6 is 12, times 5 is 60. And everything else should work out in terms of Doll's House doing it automatically for you, which is why we love the Doll's House. Very, very good automated website that used to be independent, and Chaosium, being the legends that they are, went, we like it. We will buy it. And you can just keep running it, and we will just own it. It's almost like companies can coexist with fan-created content. Not that I'm calling out any particular companies in particular. That's crazy. I don't know what you mean. Steve, do you just want to pop us over to Doll's House then? And we will revisit once we've got what we need. What was the other pulp talent, by the way? What pulp talent did we decide on?
So weird science and handy.
Handy. Okay.
So the things he's really good at, he gets a bonus die at.
Yep. Oh, okay. Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're specializing to the nth degree. Okay, I'm here for it. Let me find handy. What does that say? Handy reduces difficulty by 1 level or gains a bonus die when making electrical repair, mechanical repair, and operate heavy machinery rolls. Yep, makes sense. So this is what you call making sure that when you want to be good at something, that you don't look like a fool. Because it's one thing to have this idea of your character in your head, but a lot of new players, not that you're a new player, Steve, but I have to kind of encourage my players. I'm like, okay, if you want to be good at something, please at least give yourself 50%. And even then, remember that half the time you're not going to pass if you give yourself 50%. It takes a while for that kind of thing to work out in their heads, because they're used to a lot of it being taken care of for them in the D20 games. Now we're going to attribute our skill points. I assume you've kind of already got the draft idea in your head, so let's go ahead and do that. We've stuck with 21.
Okay, so let's see here. We got weird science. Hey.
Alrighty. So we've got skill points here. I am guessing that you already kind of know what you're putting where, but why don't you fill us in on what it is you're doing?
Sure. So I'm leaning into the Grease Monkey. Grease Monkey weird science building things always covered in grease. So I'm taking some points in electrical repair, some over in mechanical repair. I will come back later and figure out what exactly goes where, but those are the big ones.
Yep, easy. That's no problem. Too many points allocated, it says. Oh, personal specialty skills. Interesting. Okay,
so what does that actually mean?
Well, you choose a skill that you presumably can punch more points into. So I think the hint is in the name. So what do you want to be particularly good at? Like, do you consider yourself more of an electrical guy or a mechanical guy, etc., etc., etc.?
Yeah, except that those are not options here on the list.
What are the options? I can't see them because it's not a...
Right. So basically the things that you're adding on to the basic skills. So accounting, appraise, archaeology, charm, climb, computers, demolitions. Drive auto seems like it might be helpful.
Sure. Drive. Yep. Why not? You could also be a whacker that's like been mucking around with demolitions. That would be funny in its own right. Ooh, we're going into a little bit of physics, I see. Cool.
Yeah, he doesn't think about it that way, but
right.
He does understand how things work.
This is perfect because we've got a physics student in the group. Remember the one I said that you'll probably get along with the most when you're not driving them crazy? This person is also a physics student, so it's working out very well. It's a nice mesh.
And as we just discussed, he's very much I don't need to draw things out. Just see it in your head. So I am putting no extra points whatsoever into technical drawing. Because why would he?
Why would you? God, if you ever worked at NASA, you'd like get one of those documentaries, just like the man is a madman. It's like, yeah, but he's a madman who makes it work. Probably your destiny if you survive, to be honest. Actually, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I in my own head, I just like, yeah, that you don't know how true that is.
the way this is laid out on the screen, I did not look down and see the drive auto that we said, hey, should put some points into.
You want to be particularly good at that, yeah.
So I hadn't actually put points in there. So
that's right, no worries. Good time.
Then we get into hobbies and personal interests. Should have a little bit of fighting ability. That's always useful. I generally like to give a Call of Cthulhu character at least either spot hidden or listen. Not necessarily both, but I have a feeling he's better at looking at the problem and seeing what's going on. He might have a little bit of listen just some listening to machines not operating correctly. Gotta have something weird. So something I was noticing in the pulp rules that just caught my eye. So that they explain at some length that psychoanalysis means something different in this game. It can mean the same thing, you go to a therapist. It can also mean, the guy who slaps you on the back and says, hey, it's all right, you'll get through this just fine.
100%.
Can take away some of your stress and restore some sanity. That seems like something you might enjoy.
Sure, why not? Yeah. So basically, if my memory serves me, you can either break people out of bouts of madness or help them recover sanity. I don't remember the specifics, but yeah, it's pretty powerful because that's the main debilitating thing whenever you're facing something mythos. It's like, no, don't get me wrong, they're plenty nasty on their own, but then on top of that, you don't have control of your character. There's a chance that you just do stuff and it's not useful at all. So being able to potentially get people out of that is a cool idea.
And I know our students are looking for folklore, presumably looking for specific kinds.
Stories, yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe put a bit into a cult, just in the form of like the stories that my grandma told me, which aren't necessarily the stories from around here, but
well, I'm into it. We'll talk. Yeah, just enough that you probably shouldn't. Not that Steve shouldn't, but that might get his nose in a bit too far on occasion.
Okay, so here's a question.
Yes, sir.
He's not necessarily all that good with people. He's more comfortable around machines. But not having played a campaign with you before, I'm not sure if that is an option or if you really, really, really have to have some sort of some form of a social skill somewhere, or things are going to crash and burn.
No. I genuinely don't remember what other people have in terms of speaking. It's just one of those things that I don't tend to limit it to, he's the talker, right? If a person wants to play that role, most of the time I'll let that happen. But depending on the situation, the NPC may talk to you. And if you decide not to have those skills, then it is one of those situations that regardless of how much that person's a talker, if they trust you more for whether it's an action that you did or or just how you present yourself, then I may ask for a role and you may wish that you had it. So I'm not saying that you need it. Remember that we do have luck and it refreshes every session typically. So it's not the hugest deal in a Pulp Cthulhu game. You can spend the luck. But if you do then spend the luck, remember that you want to keep it above that magic 30. Otherwise your character's in danger.
Yes.
If they die, then they die. If they don't have above 30. So that's the risk you run.
Got a little bit of brawl.
Nice.
Can't really. Well, yeah, I don't see him using firearms necessarily.
No, that makes sense. It's fine.
I usually have the opposite problem. That I start putting points into things, and then I realize, I'm only halfway through the list, and I'm out. Right. Put a little bit into ride.
Ooh. Like motorcycles? Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. He's not really good at it, but he knows how they work, which is not necessarily what you want on the back of a motorcycle, but
indeed.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Think about
that's cool. No worries. shall we make the character a PDF at this point?
Certainly can.
And let's go over it. So, sidebar, when we get to you sharing the PDF, basically just do a breezy, quickish version of what you've put where. Yeah.
Just want to make sure, because I did a version of this earlier when I was playing around. This is not the file that I want. There we go.
Now, out of interest, I'm really okay. All right. Okie dokie. So, I will let you fire away in a second. Just give a breezy version of what you punched in where, as best you can. Alrighty, here we go. So we've got Dean. We don't know if that's going to be his name, but it's a bit of a mystery here. We don't know his origin. We're not going to discuss his character today. You guys will meet him in the coming days. So let's have a chat about who he is and what archetype, talents, and skills you've punched in, friendo.
Absolutely. So he's by occupation an engineer, by archetype a grease monkey. For the record, if you asked him, he would absolutely not say that he's an engineer, but it's the most accurate description.
But he works as a mechanic at the moment? Like, that's his job? Yeah. Gotcha.
So he is amazingly intelligent. He's got a 95 in intelligence.
It's the drag my head around.
And a 60 in education. But also got some brawn at 60, and 70 POW, which therefore means 70 starting sanity, which could be useful. So let's see. It's got a little bit of roughneck charm to him. He's pretty good at driving. A little bit better at electrical repair. Can hold his own in a fight with a 60 in brawl. Knows some basics of first aid, because that kind of goes hand in hand with all the other stuff. When something goes wrong, he's 50-50 in the library. He knows how to find the information, but why do people have to write this stuff down? Why can't you just see it? 70 in mechanical repair. So if you have a breakdown or something, he's there for you.
He's your guy.
And his grandma's stories give him a 40 in occult.
Yeah. Oh, worth noting that your pulp talent, right, it gives you a bonus die. So I don't know the math there, but you're fairly likely to succeed with a 70, because it's only a 30. It becomes terrible at math, but the chances are quite high that you'll pass most of the time. So that's good to know.
Of course, now we've said that out loud, so
right. Well, that's what luck is for.
And despite his best efforts, he has picked up some knowledge of chemistry and physics and that kind of stuff.
Yep. Gotcha.
And 50 in spot hidden, which isn't bad. And the thing that looks weird to me but makes sense with pulp is a 30 in psychoanalysis, which is not so much psychoanalysis as pep talk, reassuring, clap on the back, you'll be fine, walk it off.
Love that. Okay, so we've got our character here, and we've got pretty much what we need to get going with the story. We look very forward to introducing Dean. He is not a student, so who is he, and how does he relate to these other characters? How will he get into the campaign? Well, that's for me and Steve to know, and you to find out. So, until then, everybody, take care of yourselves. Know that people can like you exactly as you are, and that you matter. And we will see you at the table. Say bye, Steve.
Bye, Steve.
Bye, Steve.